He used to wake up every morning with a knot in his stomach. The day hadn't even begun, yet his mind was already racing. What if I fail at work today? What if I say the wrong thing? What if something bad happens to my family? Worry was his constant companion, whispering doubts, painting worst-case scenarios, and stealing every ounce of peace. For years, he lived like this, trapped in a cycle of fear and anxiety, convinced that worrying was the only way to stay safe. At first, it seemed harmless. A little caution, a little preparation, but soon, worry became obsession. He couldn't enjoy a meal without thinking about bills. He couldn't laugh with friends without imagining what could go wrong tomorrow. He couldn't sleep without replaying every mistake of the past. Have you ever felt that way, like your mind refuses to rest, even when your body begs for peace? The more he worried, the more powerless he felt. He believed that if he thought about every possible outcome, he could prevent disaster. But instead of protecting him, worry drained him. It stole his joy, his energy, his confidence. He became a prisoner of his own thoughts. Years passed. He missed opportunities because he was too afraid to take risks. He avoided relationships because he feared rejection. He stayed in jobs he hated because he worried about change. Worry didn't just live in his mind, it shaped his entire life. There were moments when he tried to fight back. He told himself to just stop worrying, but the thoughts returned stronger. He tried distracting himself with work, but the silence of the night brought them back. He tried ignoring them, but they screamed louder. Isn't it cruel how the harder we resist worry, the more it insists on being heard? One evening, exhausted and overwhelmed, he whispered, "I can't live like this anymore." That moment of surrender became the turning point. He didn't know it then, but what happened next would surprise him. Instead of trying to silence worry, he decided to understand it. He realized that worry was not a prophecy, it was a habit built from fear, repetition, and avoidance. And like any habit, it could be changed. He began small. When a worry appeared, he wrote it down instead of letting it swirl endlessly in his mind. Seeing it on paper made it less powerful. He asked himself, is this something I can control? If yes, he took action. If no, he let it go. Slowly, he discovered that most worries were about things that never happened. He practiced breathing exercises, focusing on the present moment instead of imagined futures. He learned to challenge his thoughts. Is this fear real, or is it just my mind exaggerating? He realized that worry thrives in silence, but weakens when confronted. The first weeks were hard. His mind resisted, clinging to old patterns. But he kept going. He reminded himself that worry was not truth, it was just noise. He began to replace worry with gratitude, listing small things he appreciated each day. Isn't it powerful how gratitude shifts the mind from fear to peace? Months later, something changed. He woke up without the knot in his stomach. He laughed without guilt. He slept without endless replay. He discovered that life didn't collapse when he stopped worrying, it expanded. He found courage to try new things, to speak openly, to embrace uncertainty. The journey wasn't perfect. Worry still knocked on his door, but now he had tools. He no longer let it control him. He understood that freedom wasn't about eliminating worry completely. It was about refusing to let it rule his life. And here's the truth. He found a path to control anxiety and overcome fear. That path is available to you too. The guide, How to Control Anxiety and Overcome Fear, is in the description and in the comments. It's not magic, but it can be the beginning of your own transformation. Looking back, he realized that worry had stolen years, but it had also taught him resilience. It showed him the power of the mind and the importance of reclaiming it. He learned that true freedom doesn't come from controlling everything, it comes from letting go. And now, as you finish this story, remember, worry may feel endless, but peace is possible. True freedom begins in the mind, and only then appears in life.